Divinely revealed. 7 miraculous insights the chosen ones witness when they gaze upon you. In the heart of a vibrant urban neighborhood, a whisper swept through the congregation, igniting hearts with an urgency that felt almost palpable. The air crackled with divine energy, leaving behind a trail of unshakable faith and longing for miracles. Sarah, a devoted single mother, sat with her son Jacob, whose 8-year-old eyes were dimmed by a rare illness that had taken hold of him like a thief in the night. Yet, amid the shadows of despair, something remarkable stirred beneath the surface, a revelation that promised to transform their lives. Faith is hope in things unseen, her pastor reminded them, his voice echoing like thunder. And in that moment, the atmosphere shifted. It was as if the walls of the church breathed in unison, lifting the prayers toward the heavens. Golden light filtered through the stained glass, casting colorful shapes that danced playfully on Sarah's hands as she clung to Jacob's small, frail fingers. An electric pulse of faith coursed through her, urging her to believe in the impossible. As the congregation united in prayer, Sarah felt a familiar warmth envelop her heart. It was a presence, tangible and divine, wrapping her in unwavering comfort. Then came the first miraculous insight, a soft voice, gentle yet strong, whispered directly into her soul. Hope is your anchor. Each word twinkled like stars in the darkest night, igniting a flicker of determination deep within her. She dared to believe, just for a moment, that hope had lodged itself in the midst of despair, refusing to let go. Days unfolded like petals of a fragile flower, each one drawing deeper into the pain of Jacob's condition. But then, she met a mysterious figure in the church, a gentle soul who radiated peace like the morning sun. His eyes glowed with a kindness that seemed to lift the very weight of the world. I have insights to share, dear Sarah, he said, his voice like a soothing balm to her aching heart. 7 insights that will change everything. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let us continue. The first insight flooded her with warmth and life. You are never alone. As she felt the enveloping love of her community, doubt melted away like snow under the sun. Each revelation poured into her heart, revealing depths of purpose and faith she had never known. The second, every tear is a prayer, allowed her to release the heaviness while reminding her that God collected her sorrows and turned them into grace. Yet amidst all this revelation, doubt still lingered on the edges of her heart. Could these insights truly lead to a miracle for Jacob? As she witnessed the community holding on to faith, praying fervently with hands clasped and hearts tuned to heaven, hope flickered again. But was it strong enough? As Jacob laid in his hospital bed, frail and vulnerable, a stillness settled over her all at once. A sudden rush of warmth enveloped him that was undeniable. The air around them sparkled, charged with unseen forces. Was this what they had hoped for? Sarah gazed into Jacob's brightening eyes, and in that moment, everything fell silent. The cries of fear, the whispers of uncertainty. Could this truly be the beginning of a miracle? The answers to the mysterious insights swirled, leaving her breathless and ignited with questions that would reshape their journey ahead. As the warmth enveloped Jacob, a flicker of recognition lit up Sarah's heart. Was this the source of hope they'd been seeking? She leaned closer, searching his eyes for understanding, for confirmation of the miraculous change that danced around them. The stillness of the room felt sacred. It was an invitation to surrender, to trust in the divine narrative unfolding before them. Mommy? Jacob's voice, though soft, broke the silence, pulling Sarah back into the moment. She could see clarity shining through the haze of his illness. I feel different. Those words struck a chord deep within her soul. Different how, my love? She asked, her heart racing. It's like I'm not so heavy anymore, he replied, a smile breaking across his face. That smile. Oh, how it warmed her spirit. As the moments stretched, Sarah sensed something incredible was at play. Was this the third insight? A miracle unraveling, changing their trajectory in real time. Goddess' hand is at work, she whispered under her breath, feeling fresh tears of gratitude pooling in her eyes. The room glimmered with a heavenly glow, as if the very angels were rejoicing alongside them. Sarah reached for Jacob's hand, thankful for the newfound strength racing through his fingertips. She inhaled deeply, feeling a mix of hope and joy washing over her, a powerful reminder that love and faith transcended any earthly ailment. Suddenly, a soft knock at the door broke their shared moment. In entered the kind-hearted stranger, the one who had offered her insights that felt like lifebuoys in a sea of uncertainty. His presence seemed to draw light into the room. I felt led to share the next insight with you, he said softly, resting a hand on Jacob's head. Please, Sarah urged. We need all the encouragement we can get. The third insight is this: belief activates the miracle. Each word he spoke dripped with wisdom, flooding Sarah's spirit with renewed energy. She felt the weight of the world begin to lift again. Belief? Jacob echoed, eyes twinkling with innocence. Yes, the man said, his eyes sparkling like stars. When you trust wholeheartedly that God can do what seems impossible, that belief creates pathways for the divine to enter your life. It opens the door for miracles. Sarah nodded, piecing together what unfolded before her. Could it be as simple as believing? As layer upon layer of revelation began to pile up, she imagined what life would look like if they fully embraced this insight. In that precious moment, she felt the stirrings of a prayer bloom within her. Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief, she breathed out with fervor. As if in response, the light in the room seemed to shimmer brighter. Jacob's smile grew wider, and his laughter rang through the air like delightful bells. It echoed through the halls, melting away any lingering shadows of doubt. But just as they began to bask in the warmth of hope, a ripple of uncertainty brushed against Sarah's heart once more. Was the miracle real? Was this belief strong enough to transform their reality? The stranger's knowing gaze met hers, and it was as if he read the very questions swirling in her mind. What if, he said thoughtfully, this is just the beginning? What if there is more to discover? More miracles on the horizon? The air felt electric, and Sarah could feel the universe expanding around them. Hope twinkled anew, yet she felt the urgency growing within her. Was she prepared for what was to come next? A new wave of emotions surged through her, leaving her breathless and on the edge of something wonderful yet unknown. What would the next insight reveal? Would their faith ignite the miracle they so desperately sought? Would they truly step into a world of boundless possibilities? In that moment of divine tension, she felt the endless expanse of God's grace inviting her deeper. What awaited them around the bend? Sarah closed her eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath to steady the whirlwind of her emotions. As she inhaled, she could almost taste the sweetness of hope in the air. It mingled with a sense of divine possibility that lingered like a gentle breeze. Mommy, Jacob's voice broke through her reverie, his childlike trust reminding her of the purity of faith. What happens now? The question hung in the air, an invitation to imagine. Sarah opened her eyes, looking around the room that felt transformed by their shared belief. The walls, once heavy with worry, now felt light, filled with a warmth that whispered of angels nearby. Now, she said softly, we prepare our hearts for what's next. We believe just like he taught us. The kind stranger nodded in agreement, his smile reassuring. You're already on the path, dear ones. The next insight is a promise. Faith prepares the heart for miracles. It's not merely about believing. It's about readying yourself for the unexpected gifts God is eager to give. Sarah felt a shift as the words settled within her. Preparation. That was the essence of faith, wasn't it? A trust that allowed one's heart to be open to whatever God desired to do. Jacob's face lit up with understanding, and she could see the spirit of curiosity glimmering in his eyes. Mom, Jacob exclaimed, does that mean we should be excited? Like our hearts are getting ready for a surprise party from God? Yes, my love. Sarah laughed, embracing the joy that bubbled within her. Exactly like a surprise party, when we expect goodness from him, we create space for his miracles to unfold. The stranger smiled wider. And don't underestimate the power of anticipation. Can change how you view everything. Your challenges transform into stepping stones toward revelation. When you wait with a heart full of expectation, God can do wonders. Sarah felt hope swell within her, and then a deeper thought surfaced. But what happens when waiting feels hard? What if we start to doubt? A knowing look crossed the stranger's face, as if he had walked that road himself. But even doubt can be the soil for miracles to grow. Think of it this way. When you feel doubt, invite it into your conversation with God. Let your honest heart speak. That's where relationship flourishes. The raw moments of faith build resilience. Jacob nodded as if he were absorbing ancient wisdom. So we can talk to God about everything? Even the scary stuff? Absolutely, Sarah affirmed. God is big enough for all our feelings. Our fears, our hopes, our dreams. And when we bring those to him, we are preparing our hearts. The atmosphere thickened with sacred expectation. Jacob leaned forward, his voice a whisper. Then let us talk to him now. Sarah turned her gaze toward the ceiling, her heart open as she began to pray aloud. Lord, we bring you our hopes and fears. Fill our hearts with faith. Help us to prepare for the miracles that await us. As they prayed, the air felt charged with life, and the light in the room seemed to pulse with the rhythm of their belief. Time slowed, stretching out like a tapestry woven with each word they offered to the divine. After a few moments, Sarah opened her eyes to see the kind stranger looking at them with profound admiration. You both are creating space for something beautiful. Just remember, miracles don't always look how we expect. Her heart raced. What did that mean for them? What shape would their miracle take? In that moment, the door creaked softly. A presence entered that made the air shimmer again, teasing a sense of new beginnings. Sarah felt her breath hitch as she turned to see who or what had arrived. Was this the moment of change? Or a new surprise on the horizon? The sensation of divine curiosity wrapped around her, urging her to lean deeper. What awaited them now? Was this the next step into their unfolding miracle? The door slowly swung open, revealing a figure cloaked in soft light. It was a woman, her eyes sparkling with an otherworldly wisdom. A calm smile graced her face, radiating warmth that filled the room to the brim. She stepped inside without a word, her presence commanding silence and attention. Sarah felt an electric thrill surge through her. In this moment, she sensed something extraordinary was about to unfold. Not even the dim light could obscure the brightness in the woman's countenance. It was as if she carried the dawn within her. Fear not, the woman said gently, her voice a soothing balm. You have created a space where the divine can dwell. I am here to guide you on the next part of your journey. Jacob's eyes widened with wonder, his tiny hand gripping Sarah's. Who are you? He asked, his voice steady despite the magic in the air. I am a messenger, the woman replied, her gaze affectionate as she looked at them both. Not of the past, but of the promise that lies ahead. You both have called for guidance, and today, I will share with you 7 miraculous insights. They will light your path and prepare your hearts even further. Sarah exchanged a glance with Jacob, their hearts thudding in unison. She nodded, inviting the woman to continue. Insight 1, the woman began, a glimmer of excitement in her tone. Is this? Sometimes darkness is necessary for light to be truly seen. Embrace the moments of doubt. They will ultimately reveal the strongest truths. This resonated with Sarah. She thought back to nights filled with unanswered questions. In those shadows, they had learned to seek the light more fervently. Insight 2. Every miracle is birthed from love. Your love for each other, for God, and for the world empowers the extraordinary. Love alters perspectives and opens hearts. Jacob beamed. Then we should love as much as we can. Yes, little one. That's the spirit, the woman encouraged, her laughter like a melody. Insight 3. Faith must be nurtured like a garden. You must water it with patience, pray over it with hope, and witness it blossom where you least expect it. The walls of their space seemed to pulse with life, as if the very air was breathing with faith. Fourth, divine timing often confounds human logic. While you wait, trust that all is in the perfect order of God's design. His clock is different, but never late. A sense of peace began to settle in Sarah's heart. She remembered the times when she had felt so restless, waiting for answers. If timing was in God's hands, she could choose to relax and trust. Insight 5. Your words hold creative power. Speak blessings, and you shall witness transformations in your life and in others. Jacob bounced slightly in excitement. Like magic, our words can change things. The woman smiled and nodded, her eyes sparkling deeper. Precisely. Words can conjure hope or despair, so choose wisely. Insight 6. Loss and gain are two sides of the same coin. If something is taken, it makes room for new joys. Every ending births a new beginning. Sarah felt tears prick her eyes. The weight of loss they faced began to lift, revealing the hidden opportunities that had emerged since. And finally, Insight 7. Look for the small miracles woven into the fabric of daily life. They often go unnoticed but carry the greatest blessings. The woman paused, letting her words settle like seeds in fertile soil. Sarah's heart raced as she understood the magnitude of what was shared. Is this truly what we need to see? She whispered, emotions mingling hope and uncertainty. The woman stepped closer, her eyes deeply penetrating. You must carry these insights forward, but the most crucial truth is yet to come. Each insight awaits your action, your response. Will you embrace them? In that profound quiet, Sarah and Jacob felt a stirring deep within them, calling for response, for stepping into their unfolding miracle. Embrace? But how? Sarah asked, her voice barely above a whisper, filled with the urgency of connection. What shall you choose to do next? The woman questioned, her smile encouraging yet mysterious. And in that moment, they realized a decision must be made. One that would intertwine their hearts even further with the divine. Sarah took a deep breath, the air thick with anticipation. She could feel the weight of the woman's gaze, both comforting and pressing. It beckoned her to uncover the depths of her heart, urging her to decide. Would they embrace these miraculous insights? Jacob looked up at her, eyes wide with curiosity. Mom, what do we do? The woman smiled gently and encouraged them. You hold the power of choice. Each step you take will breathe life into these insights. But remember, the journey demands both courage and love. Sarah's heart thudded like a drum in her chest. She thought of all the times she had hesitated, anxious about taking the next step. Yet looking at Jacob, she felt an unwavering resolve. Love compelled her to act. Let us make a promise, she said softly, kneeling beside Jacob. We will hold love in our hearts, let faith grow, and speak blessings over others. We will live these insights every day. Jacob nodded eagerly, excitement bubbling in him. I promise, Mom. We can start today. Wonderful. The woman clapped her hands, and the room seemed to shimmer with light. With every promise comes grace. Every action you take propels you further into the miraculous. They settled into a serene silence, the gravity of the moment encompassing them. Sarah closed her eyes, picturing the life ahead, fueled by the insights they had received. There was so much hope in front of them, waiting just beyond this moment. Remember, the woman said, her voice a soft whisper like a breeze through the trees. Miracles don't always appear in grand gestures. Sometimes, they unfold in quiet moments, a kind word to a stranger, a hand extended to someone in need, a moment of patient trust in the waiting. Yes, just like in the little things, Jacob exclaimed, his voice brightened by understanding. Yes, the woman affirmed, her smile glowing. In accepting this, you open the door to extraordinary possibilities. You will recognize grace in your every step. A spark ignited in Sarah's chest. She imagined bakeries filled with laughter and community meals where healing would take place. Each act of love they chose would be a stitch in a grand tapestry designed by God. Trust, the woman added. Trust not only in yourselves and your heart's intentions but also in the divine rhythm that guides you. Even when you cannot see the path ahead, you are still moving forward. In this moment, Sarah felt as if a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. She could hear the echoing promise deep within. They were not alone in this journey. The divine was intimately involved in their lives. Can we start now? Can we shine our light right where we are? Jacob's enthusiasm radiated through the room, his faith contagious. The woman nodded, warm and reassuring. Indeed, the sooner you begin, the more blessings you'll attract around you. Every act of love will cause ripples far beyond what you can imagine. With renewed vigor, Sarah and Jacob stood hand in hand, their hearts lifted by hope. As they prepared to take their first steps beyond these four walls, an overwhelming warmth enveloped them. But just as they were about to move forward, the woman held up a hand, her expression suddenly serious. Before you step out into the world, there's one final essential truth to convey. It awaits only the right moment. Will you be ready when it calls to you? In the hushed whisper of revelation, Sarah felt a familiar flutter of anticipation in her chest. What lay ahead? What truth would challenge them and demand their unwavering faith? The air grew still, and Sarah and Jacob exchanged glances, hearts aflame with wonder. The choice was made, but the adventure was just beginning. The stillness wrapped around them like a warm blanket, but the woman's words hung in the air, pregnant with significance. Sarah felt a gentle tug at her heart, a whisper urging her to probe deeper into the heart of this moment. Jacob shifted beside her, reflecting the anticipation that danced in the air. What truth? Sarah asked, her voice barely above a whisper, but filled with a longing that could not be contained. The woman's gaze deepened, as if she were peering into their very souls. It is a truth often overlooked, hidden in plain sight. It is not about grand changes but about understanding the divine within the ordinary. Jacob's brow furrowed in thought. How can we understand the divine in what's ordinary? Every moment holds a revelation if you choose to see it, she replied, her smile encouraging. You need only to pause and look around, notice the flower blooming through the crack in the sidewalk, or the laughter shared among friends over a simple meal. Each moment radiates the divine. Sarah nodded slowly, feeling a flicker of understanding spark in her heart. So, it's about seeing God in the everyday. In the small acts of love? Exactly, the woman affirmed, her voice flowing like a soft river. The simplest gestures can be the greatest miracles. The divine manifests in the quiet moments, the gestures that knit humanity together. Will you practice this vision? Jacob's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. We can do that, right, Mom? We can make every little moment count. Yes, Jacob. Sarah felt joy swell within her, a sense of purpose solidifying. We can start a movement of love right where we are. The woman stepped closer, holding their hands in hers. Then let me remind you of the power of intention. Each kindness radiates far beyond your immediate view. You will find connections unfolding as your love flows outward. With a renewed sense of direction, Sarah felt emboldened. What if our little acts of love lead to something greater than we expect? The woman nodded, a knowing glint in her eye. What God has not yet revealed. The layers of miracles stacked upon your decisions. Each act of love will weave connections that can change lives, perhaps even the very fabric of your community. As they spoke, Sarah felt a divine warmth illuminating their path. She envisioned gatherings where stories of love and compassion intertwined. She glimpsed neighbors supporting one another, children laughing, and kindness flourishing everywhere. Let us begin today, Sarah declared, filled with unstoppable determination. We can look for ways to share kindness and love. Yes, Jacob exclaimed, clapping his hands together. We can share smiles with the baker, help someone carry their groceries, or just listen to someone who needs it. In every gesture, you share a piece of your heart. And that is powerful, the woman encouraged, her eyes shimmering with pride. But remember, moments will come that will test your resolve. When they do, your faith will be your anchor. Suddenly, Sarah felt the room shift, a pulse of divine energy flowing like an electric current. She understood they were at the edge of something monumental, not just for them but for everyone around them. As the air vibrated with anticipation, the woman took a step back, her expression serene yet commanding. And now stay alert. The next lesson in love awaits you at a time you least expect it. Will you embrace it with open hearts? Sarah felt a rush of emotions. Excitement mingled with a hint of uncertainty. What challenge would soon confront them? And how would they be called to act in those moments of truth? With hope lighting their hearts, they exchanged a knowing glance, ready to take that leap of faith together. What miraculous insights awaited them just outside that door? The journey had only just begun. As Sarah and Jacob stepped outside, the world felt different. The sun hung low in the sky, casting warm golden rays that danced through the trees. Each leaf glimmered, almost as if God were smiling upon them. "Look, Mom, the way the light shines through there." Jacob pointed, his innocent wonder palpable. "It's south like the whole street is glowing." "Yes, it is," she replied, her heart swelling with a sense of awe. "Remember, even in the mundane, there's magic if we take the time to see it." They wandered the familiar streets, but today they carried an intention, an open heart, and a readiness to spot the divine. It made every moment feel sacred. Excitement bubbled within Sarah as she thought of all the little opportunities to show kindness. Suddenly, they came upon Mrs. Wilkins, their elderly neighbor, struggling with her heavy grocery bags. The sight struck a chord deep within Sarah. Here was their first lesson laid before them. "Let us help her," Jacob exclaimed, rushing forward. Together, they lifted the bags and followed Mrs. Wilkins up her garden path. "Thank you so much, dear," she beamed, her frail hands trembling with gratitude. "It's such a blessing to have caring neighbors like you." Sarah smiled, feeling warmth wash over her. It wasn't just a simple act of kindness. It was a moment of divine connection that bound them, heart to heart. "See, Jacob? This is what it means to touch someone's life with love," Sarah remarked, seeing her son's eager nod. As their day continued, they tried to be attentive to everyone they encountered. At the coffee shop, they shared a laugh with the barista who had a rough morning, leaving him with an extra tip and encouraging words. As the sun dipped lower, they stopped by the park, where children played in the fading light. "Wanna play too?" one little girl asked, her face brightening at the prospect of more playmates. Jacob looked at Sarah, eyes wide with excitement. "Can we, please?" "Yes." Sarah laughed at her son's enthusiasm. They joined in, laughter echoing like a melody. In those moments, their hearts soared, feeling the divine joy pulsing in every shared smile and every genuine connection. As they prepared to leave, an older man approached them, admiration in his eyes. "I've seen the light in you too. The love you share, it's contagious. Keep it alive." Sarah felt her throat tighten. His words resonated with something deep within her. This was the purpose they sought, the ripple effect of love and kindness, reaching far beyond their little community. As they walked home, the sky painted in hues of violet and orange, Sarah asked, "What if the next lesson comes when we least expect it?" Jacob pondered for a moment. "Then we have to be ready, like a superhero waiting for a call." Sarah chuckled, but a thoughtful weight rested inside her. Could they really be ready? What challenges would stretch their faith? The air seemed to hum with possibilities. Each step echoed with promise. As they neared their home, a gentle breeze rustled by, carrying a whisper. Embrace the unexpected. What divine opportunity awaited them in the next dawn? They could feel it, something bigger was on the horizon, waiting for them to discover. Would they rise to the occasion when the call came? Only time would tell. The next morning arrived with a soft, pearlescent light that trickled through the window. It felt different from any other day. Sarah awoke with a sense of anticipation curling in her chest, as if the universe was whispering secrets waiting to be unearthed. Jacob stirred beside her, yawning and stretching like a kitten. "Mom, can we have breakfast outside today?" he asked, bouncing with energy. "Absolutely. Let's see if the world outside has more gifts for us," Sarah replied, a smile creeping across her face. As they set the table in the sunlit yard, The scent of freshly brewed coffee filled the air, mingling with the aroma of pancakes. Birds chirped a joyous melody from the trees, creating an enchanting backdrop to their morning ritual. While they enjoyed their meal beneath the blue expanse, Jacob suddenly pointed towards the sky, his voice bursting with glee. "Look, a rainbow, Mom." Sarah followed his gaze, her heart skipping a beat. A faint rainbow arched gracefully, glowing softly against the backdrop of a blue sky. It was a beautiful promise, a reminder that even after storms, colors would emerge. "What do you think that means?" Jacob asked, his eyes sparkling with wonder. "It's God's way of reminding us of hope, Jacob. Just like every act of kindness, it brings vibrancy to our days," she said gently, her soul resonating with the moment's beauty. After breakfast, they grabbed their coats and set out, eager to embrace whatever lay ahead. The neighborhood seemed alive in a way it hadn't before. Each encounter shimmered with holy potential. They greeted neighbors with warmth, exchanged caring smiles, and felt the light coursing through their interactions. They soon found themselves at the old community center, vibrant and bustling with activity. Children laughed and played, while adults worked together to set things up for a local food drive. Sarah noticed a group struggling to lift heavy boxes piled in a corner. "Let us lend a hand," she suggested to Jacob. They rushed over, and as they worked together, laughter swirled around them like the autumn leaves tumbling on the ground. Amidst the labor, an elderly woman named Mrs. Thompson caught Sarah's gaze. Her hands trembled as she sorted cans, her eyes filled with both determination and fatigue. "Would you like some help, Mrs. Thompson?" Sarah asked, empathy thrumming in her veins. "Oh, sweet child, that would be a blessing," the woman replied, happiness lighting up her face. As Sarah bent down to assist her, their hands brushed. An incredible warmth surged through Sarah, igniting an unexplainable connection. The woman shared stories from her youth, recounting tales that were steeped in courage and love. As Jacob listened intently, eyes wide with fascination, time slipped away, filled with laughter and exchanges of joy, weaving a tapestry of shared human experience. As they finished, Sarah caught sight of a mural painted on the wall, a glorious depiction of a tree bearing fruit, a representation of community unity. "Look at the branches," she exclaimed to Jacob. "It's like a reminder that all our kindness spreads outwards, reaching others in ways we might never see." Jacob nodded, absorbed in the message. But beneath Sarah's joy, a soft tension stirred. They were not yet done. The day wasn't finished revealing its wonders. An unexpected thought fluttered into her mind. What if there was someone here who needed them more than they realized? With renewed purpose, they looked around, hearts open to every possibility. Who would they be led to next? What lesson or divine encounter awaited them? The air felt thick with the weight of unspoken promises, and the gentle coaxing of a deeper call echoed within. It was time to brace themselves. Would they be ready to embrace the surprises? The day had only begun. As Sarah and Jacob scanned the busy space around them, an unspoken understanding settled between them. It was as if the air had grown thicker, pregnant with anticipation. A swarm of emotions danced behind Sarah's heart, each one urging her to trust in the journey laid before them. "Mom, can we help that lady over there?" Jacob pointed out someone in the corner. It was a middle-aged woman sitting on a bench, her head hung low, surrounded by bags of clothing and toys. "That looks like a great idea," Sarah said, feeling an inexplicable tug in that direction. They approached the woman slowly, the chatter of the community fading, replaced by the heartbeats of each passing moment. "Hello," Sarah began softly. "Is everything all right?" The woman looked up, startled, her eyes slightly glassy with unshed tears. "Oh yes, I'm just sorting through these things." She tried to smile, but the weight of her burdens was evident. "I'm Sarah, and this is my son Jacob. We're here to help," she offered with warmth, her heart swelling at the sight of the woman's struggle. As they sat down beside her, a connection sparked. "I'm Ruth," she said, and slowly began to share her story. She spoke of loss, of days that felt endless, and of hope that flickered like a candle in the wind. Sarah nodded as Ruth poured her heart out, each word revealing a small piece of the woman's shattered spirit. Jacob, with the innocence of youth, chimed in, "But hope is still a thing. Just like the rainbow, right, Mom?" His bright eyes sparkled with understanding beyond his years. Ruth blinked, a flicker of realization crossing her face. "Yes, you're right," she whispered, her voice stronger now. "It's just hard to see sometimes." When it happened, an incredible warmth enveloped them. It was as if light had spirited down from above, sinking into the very essence of their gathering. Sarah felt her heart race. It's okay to lean on others when it feels heavy. "We're all in this together," she said gently. As they worked together, organizing the clothes and toys, laughter bubbled up again. They shared snippets of their lives, and Ruth began to smile. Each story they exchanged seemed to lift a layer of burden from her shoulders, infusing her with new spirit. Sarah found herself breathing in deeply, feeling grace settle in the gaps where doubt had previously resided. Jacob, ever the observer, remarked, "You have such a beautiful smile, Ruth, like you just found a treasure." His childlike honesty ushered forth a genuine laugh from Ruth, breaking down walls. "I had forgotten how important it was to share joy," she confessed, a glow beginning to return to her eyes. With every passing moment, Sarah sensed a wave of divine transformation surging forth. It was as if Ruth had been living in shades of gray, and now she was stepping into color. The connection deepened, and the trio became a reflection of hope, bright, unwavering. As they wrapped up, Ruth looked at them both, her eyes brimming with gratitude. Thank you for breathing life back into me," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Sarah felt something shift within her, a soft stirring as if God was gesturing, inviting her closer. Maybe there was more to follow. Perhaps this act of kindness was just the beginning of a much greater purpose. The energy around them sparkled with unfronted promises, as if the heavens above were rustling in anticipation. "Let us take one more look around before we leave," Sarah suggested, a twinkle of excitement in her eyes, and Jacob nodded eagerly. But deep inside, she wondered, what would they uncover next? What miracle awaited them just around the corner? Every heartbeat pulsed with divine potential, compelling her to step forward. The day was far from over, and the adventure was calling. As the sun began to lower in the sky, casting an ethereal light over the community center, Sarah and Jacob found themselves at the edge of a bustling gathering. They had shared kindness, laughter, and warmth with Ruth, and now the air buzzed with anticipation, as if the day held yet another divine surprise for them. "Mom, look, they're setting up for a talent show," Jacob exclaimed, tugging at her hand in excitement. Sarah's heart fluttered at the sight of colorful decorations and the eager faces of children rehearsing their performances. But it was more than excitement that filled her. It was a profound conviction that they were to participate. Jacob looked up at her, his voice bubbling over. "Can we do something too? Together?" "Yes. Let us unite our hearts and be a part of this," she replied with a grin, remembering the joy they had just shared. They approached the organizers, who welcomed them eagerly, grateful for every helping hand. As the preparations unfolded, Sarah felt an inner stirring of voice inviting her to embrace the gifts they had nurtured. "We should share the insights we've learned. Could inspire others," she suggested, the words tumbling out with vibrant hope. As they took their places on the rickety stage, the soft hush of the crowd layered with the warmth of shared anticipation wrapped around them. Sarah reached for Jacob's hand, grounding herself in the moment. "What should we say?" Jacob whispered, his childlike innocence glowing in the soft glow of fading daylight. "Let us start with hope," Sarah smiled. "That's our anchor, and then we can talk about love being a powerful force." As they began, their voices intertwined like a sweet melody. Jacob's laughter echoed through the crowd, infused with faith. "We learned that love is like a treasure, and sharing it fills your heart. Every kind act creates ripples of grace," Sarah added, feeling courage swell within. "And you are never alone. We are all in this together." The audience, captivated, hung onto every word. The room felt electric, each heartbeat resonating within the sacred space they created together. After sharing their journey and insights, a young girl stepped forward with tears in her eyes. "You made me remember that, even on hard days, I can find the light." A chorus of murmurs erupted. "We are not alone," someone echoed. Their shared moment coalesced into a wave of energy radiating through the audience, stirring hearts and transforming the mundane into something extraordinary. Suddenly, a thunderous applause rang out, filling them with warmth. Jacob beamed, his joy sparkling like starlight. "Mom, we did it. We shared our hearts." With each clap, Sarah was reminded that they were not just sharing words. They were manifesting love and hope. The power of simple kindness reverberated through everyone, a reminder of their interconnected beliefs. As the event flowed on with music and laughter, Sarah felt a tap on her shoulder. It was Ruth, her face glowing with gratitude. "You've ignited something incredibly beautiful," she said softly, her voice trembling with emotion. "I feel alive again." Tears welled in Sarah's eyes. "Thank you for showing us how to reach out and share," she whispered, overwhelmed by the shared divine embrace. The night unfolded, each performance unfolding like an act of worship. People from all walks of life showcased their talents, songs of joy, dances of love, and laughter like a vibrant tapestry connecting each of them. With every joyful expression, Sarah felt the weight of earlier burdens lift. This journey together was honoring what they had learned. It was about stepping into the light together. They saw God at work in the simplest gestures, hidden in the fabric of unity, the blessings threading through their hearts like a promise. As the show came to a close, Sarah wrapped her arms around Jacob, pulling him close. "This was only the beginning, my love. So many miracles are waiting for us to embrace, and now we know the way." Jacob nodded seriously. "Then let us keep our eyes open for the next one, Mom." And in that moment, wrapped in the embrace of joy and community, Sarah's heart swelled with profound gratitude. They were embarking on a path illuminated with hope, a journey of love that knew no bounds. The divine was alive in their actions, breathing life into the everyday. "Together, we can change the world," Sarah whispered, her voice filled with determination. "Yes." Jacob laughed, throwing his arms up in celebration. The echoes of laughter and joy bounced around them, a sweet reminder of their new reality. Emboldened by this experience, Sarah envisioned a life blooming with divine encounters, the light ever drawing them onward. With hope leading the way, they would embrace the day with open hearts, ready for the miracles yet to come. As they made their way home, hand in hand, Sarah realized that their true journey had just begun. The promise of the divine awaited them around every corner, woven into the very fabric of life, and they were fully ready to embrace it all. Now, as you reflect on this transformative journey, remember, open your hearts, feel the miraculous insights in your life. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you won't miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help spread these powerful messages. Comment your reactions and testimonies about the ending below. Your words hold power. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. You need to embrace and support the light that unfolds from genuine faith. Don't wait even one more second to share this divine journey.